So good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Georgia, and we are, I believe, week 4 of Ku-ring-gai Council's Lockdown Live Yoga. So welcome to your practice. Today we are here in the beautiful Wildflower Gardens here in Sanais across 123 hectares of bushland. And as we are in spring, there's lots of beautiful flowers out. So if you are local, oh my goodness, come and check it out. We just got some bush turkeys joining us today. That's why I'm laughing. But we will be doing some yin yoga today, and I know some of us might have tried it before, which is awesome. But if you haven't, don't worry, it's one of the most gentle and passive forms of yoga. So I would suggest if you have like a bolster or any cushions at home to support your practice, maybe a foam exercise block, that would be great to have by your mat. But also if you don't, you're very welcome to just do it without props. And yin yoga is generally holding passive poses for anywhere between 3 to 5 or even 6 minutes. So it's super relaxing, and the overall aim is to help tap into our parasympathetic nervous system. So just becoming a little bit more relaxed, moving towards a more calm state of mind. So with all of that said, we will get started in a comfortable seated position with a little bit of an opening meditation. And if you do have your cushion, your bolster, or anything soft to perch your bottom on top of, just taking your sit bones on top of that, crossing the legs over. And then as we are in the Wildflower Gardens, I thought today we would be working with our Lotus Mudra. So our mudra in yoga, here's the turkey again. It's just a hand gesture. So you'll be taking both hands, the pinky tips, and then the thumbs will touch, and then the rest of the fingers will be out just like this. And this is our Lotus Padrum Mudra. So taking that mudra and placing your hands just in front of the heart space, and start to arrive into your breath here. And so the lotus or Padma Mudra is thought to open up our heart chakra, and it represents purity. And if you think of the lotus flower in nature, it's one of the only types that kind of can survive in the mud. So against all odds, it's able to rise above the mud, surface through to the light, and where it expands and opens up. And so today's practice will be sequenced around that. So starting with some more grounded and closed postures, and then eventually starting to open up and expand the body. And as we come into our beginning meditation, keeping the mudra at your heart space, keeping the eyes closed down, and sit comfortably so you can feel the spine present and upright, and feel the gentle curve in the low back, matched by the one at the base of the skull. Relax your shoulders, unclench the jaw, and breathe. Feel the clothes and your skin, how it feels to be in your body today. Visualize a light of any color. It could be gold or blue, light or dark. And start to see this color form in your belly. And feel the light like the sun from within, And start to picture this light moving through your body into your chest and into your heart, down into your arms and fingers. The light now descends into your lower limbs, to your feet and toes, filling you with warmth. And see how the light moves into your mind and fills your head with sunlight. And let this light radiate outside your body, into the room and surrounding the space you're in. Now as you sit, the light starts to fill the room and connect with all the people who have joined you here in your practice today. And see the light shift and filter its way outside of your room, your home, into the wind and trees, into the waterways and mountains, until it fills the entire planet. And this light is not selective, moving its way through the world, touching and filling every sentient being, until the whole universe is one bright light. You are part of it, and it is part of you. Sitting here just for a few moments longer, radiating in the warm presence of this shared connection. Let's take one final breath in together. And a clearing breath out. And gently blinking open the eyes. Welcome to your practice. You can start to release the mudra. And the first shape we'll be visiting today will be called Caterpillar Pose. So we'll be coming to sit on the sit bones. And then again, if you don't have props with you, totally fine. You can just do this one without. But the legs will extend nice and relaxed. And then very simply, you're just going to lean the torso forward. So a passive upper body forward fold. If you do have maybe a cushion at home, you can take your props perhaps on top of the legs, like so. Just providing the head and neck with a little bit of support. And the final option for your caterpillar pose will be to have your cushion underneath the knees. And this is a really nice way to just make it a little more gentle. And we'll be in this pose for a total of 4 minutes today. So as always in yin, you can spend the first few breaths just easing yourself into the pose and committing to some stillness once you've found a place and space that you can comfortably breathe. Allow the head and the neck to relax, the shoulders to soften, and breathe. Start to feel a deep sense of grounding as your body surrenders to the earth. And enjoying this stretch down the entire posterior chain, or the back line of the body. And anytime the mind starts to wander, which is very normal in our yin yoga practice, just drawing your attention and your awareness back into the quality of your breath. And instead of forcing or gripping ourselves into these poses, instead in yin yoga, you just allow the power of gravity and of time to take us there instead. Breathing in. Breathing out. Slowing down the breath and slowing down the mind. We have just less than a minute remaining in this posture. So there's always an opportunity to check in, to tune in with your body. Start to take your 3 final breaths in caterpillar pose. Last breath in. Last breath out. And your inhale breath, it's a slow motion, peeling of the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Try to imagine you're moving through honey. Your head and neck will be last to rise. And then once you arrive, a little counter pose, or what we call a rebound in yin yoga. You can just take the palms out behind you. Gentle squeeze of the shoulder blades together as you open the chest. And in these rebound poses, really just allowing the body a chance to absorb the effects from each of the yin poses. And you might feel a little bit of a flushing sensation, which in yogic philosophy is called our chi or prana. So just allowing that to circulate, to flush through your body. Let's take one more breath in together. And then slowly calming back through neutral. Everybody okay? And then we'll prepare for our next pose, which a lot of us will be familiar with, child's pose. So if you know where you're going, feel free to go on in. If you're a little unsure, all we're doing is coming onto the knees, And if you have blankets at home, or if you have any issues going on with your knees, you can of course pop something soft underneath them. But we'll bring the knees out nice and wide, the big toes to touch. And then very simply, you can do this one without props, extending the arms out in front of you, and then gently melting the forehead to the earth. Now that's option one. If you do want a little more support or a little bit of a gentle option, you can take a pillow or a bolster and then lying on top of it, like so. So again, we'll be holding this posture for a total of 4 minutes. And if you do decide to maybe lean over to one side, I can let you know once we've reached the halfway point. But try to feel a sense of the hips pushing back towards the heels. And then your upper body is completely passive here. So giving your cushion, your bolster a little hug. Allow the head and the neck to relax. And this is a deep release for the lower back. To start to send your breath and your awareness through to this area, and feel the skin on your sacrum spread and widen as it softens with each breath. Feeling a deep sense of grounding once again as you surrender your body into the earth. Yogis, we are at the halfway point. So if you turned your cheek to one side, gently turning to the other side, evening it all out, restoring balance and equilibrium within your body. Keeping your breath soft, steady and smooth. Allow it to be your anchor for this practice. Each inhale, creating a little more space. And each exhale, releasing that which no longer serves, softening through the body and deepening with each breath. Start to take your final breath in your child's pose. And your final deep breath out. Your next inhalation, that same slow motion, peeling of the spine back up, taking your time, allowing the body to flush any toxins out. And then very slowly, once again, if you have your prop, your cushion, your bolster, just taking that over to one side. And then this time we'll take a moving rebound. So one that I'm sure most of us are familiar with. Coming to tabletop position, just for a few rounds of cat-cow. So your knees underneath the hips, palms underneath the shoulders. And then your inhale breath, gently dip the belly, scoop the tailbone, open the chest. Each breath out, we tuck the tailbone in and under, around through the spine as you press the ground away. Inhale, coming back to cow. And just continuing this cycle with your own breath. And in time with your body's natural rhythm. The invitation is to close down the eyes here. Instead of fixating on what it looks like, just instead feeling into the shapes. So the undulation through the spine, the connection with breath and movement. Let's take one final round, wherever you've gone to. And then once you've completed that round, we'll come back through to neutral. Now in line with our little lotus sequence, so we've started in the mud, in the grounding. Now we're going to start to open up that lotus flower. So come to lie down on your belly, like so. We're coming into a pose called Sphinx Pose. So elbows will be underneath the shoulders. Again, you're very welcome to do this one without props. Palms just gently rest out in front of you. And then if you want something a little softer, you can take a bolster or cushion underneath the belly, like so. The arms will lean forward. And for a really calming and tranquilizing effect, you might like to just relax the head and the neck, allow it to be heavy. For something a little more energizing, you can lift the gaze, but try to close your eyes. And then if you're somebody that has quite a lot of space in your spine, you can also bring your forearms on top of the bolster here. So various options for us all. And we'll be holding our Sphinx Pose for a total of 4 minutes today. So again, if you are a little newer to the practice of yin, you'll probably be feeling some sort of sensation, maybe that of compression in the lower back. And if you are feeling that, it's actually really healthy and beneficial for our spines. So as long as that kind of tension or compression isn't accompanied with any pain, it's okay. So we can just breathe on through it. Try to feel the heart space open and expand in this pose. Allow your lower belly to soften. Maybe even feel it gently press into the earth beneath you. Breathe. And with your eyes closed down, So we start to shift our vision inwards. Just noticing any sensations through the mental, physical, and emotional layers of the body. And as yin is a very introspective practice, we're just refining the art of our awareness. So notice and observe whatever might be arising for you today. Allow yourself permission to feel. But then with just as much ease, we let it all go through the breath. And yogis, as we are approaching the final minute, you're very welcome to stay here in any of the Sphinx variations. But if you feel like you want a little bit more, just for the final minute, you might come up to Seal Pose. So the arms will extend, the compression will be deeper now, but try to stay connected with your breath. Opening through the chest, the heart space. Well done, everybody. Start to take your final breath in. And then your exhale, whether it's Sphinx or Seal, it's a slow motion release of the pose. So notice how the elbows bend and soften from Seal. If you're in Sphinx, like a reverse spinal roll, the belly, the chest, and eventually the head will come down into what we call Crocodile Pose. So palm stacked on top of palm. Allow the forehead to nestle and rest on top. And just taking this next minute or so within your rebound to firstly reconnect with your breath. Notice any sensations through your body. Perhaps once again feeling that flushing sensation. As the fascia and connective tissue releases. Let's take one final breath in. One final breath out. Then slowly start to lift the chin back up. Coming to our next pose, which will be crossed wings. So this is a great release for your shoulders. So the way we enter, we'll start with the left side first. So extending your left arm out beside you, in line with the shoulder, palm facing down. You'll then take the right fingertips underneath your right shoulder, and then use this as a little lever to slowly peel you over to the left side. So option one, you can stay like so. Option two, you can open out the right hip, sole of the right foot just behind the left knee, And then if you have space, you might like to add a bind with the arm. So this right palm, either on top of the sacrum or maybe around the left hip crease. So this pose in our crushed wings, this helps us to release the shoulder, the tissue or fascia around our heart space. It also provides a rare stretch for the pectoral muscles. So try to ensure that your head and neck is relaxed as it can be. Notice if there's anywhere that you're gripping or tensing within your body. And if there is, to just let go, to soften and breathe. Coming up to our final minute on this side. It was always an opportunity to soften, to deepen, or to maybe stay the same. But tuning in and checking in with what your body needs in this moment. Start to take your final breath in and your final breath out. Release the bind if you took it, and then the right fingertips will come back down to the ground. In slow motion, start to peel back onto your belly. Ooh, that left arm might be a little tender, so slowly and easy does it. Let's come back to our crocodile pose just for a moment. So palm stacked on top of palm. Allow the forehead to nestle. Maybe this time adding a little bit of a roll of the hips from left to right. Like a little massage for the lower back. And breathe. Taking one final breath on this side. And then same on the other side. So this time it'll be the right arm that extends in line with your shoulder, palm facing down. You'll take the left fingertips underneath the left shoulder, and then slowly, using that as a lever, begin to peel over to your right side. So this might be enough. This is already quite a lot for the shoulder, but again, you can add in the opening of the hip and then maybe the bind with the left palm wrapping around the sacrum. And again, just holding this side for 2.5 minutes. So allow the head and the neck to soften. And feeling into that same sensation and release on the right side. And as we start to open up the petals of our lotus flower, feel a sense of expansion and openness through your heart space. And once again, approaching our final minute. So tuning in, checking in with your body. And as much as yin is all about finding and riding the physical edge of our bodies, sometimes it's softness and surrender that we need as well. Breathing into whichever space your body has guided you to. Start to take your final breath in. Final breath out. Slowly releasing the mind, if you have it. And then same. The left fingertips will come down to the ground, using it as a little lever to peel and roll yourself back to center. Taking Crocodile Pose once again, just for a moment, allowing all of that prana, that chi or energy, to flush and flow back through your body. Let's take one final breath in. One final breath out. And then slowly start to lift the chin back up. We'll take the palms underneath the shoulders and begin to bring yourself back to the sit bones. And so you've got enough room to lie down behind you. Our next pose will be one of two twists. So we have options. The first one will be a simple supine twist. So come to lie down on the spine, knees pointing up towards the sky. You will shift your hips over to the right and then knees stacked on top of knee. Just allow the legs to fall over to the left. Try to keep your shoulders grounded, and if you need any additional support, perhaps from a bolster or cushion, you might like to take this underneath the legs, like so. And then if you want something a little deeper, you can take what we call twisted roots. So the left leg will extend, and then your right leg wraps on around it, and then over to your left. Maybe using your left hand to encourage the knee to the earth. Just rinsing out through your upper body. And anytime we're twisting in yoga, we're really releasing and detoxifying, ridding our body of any toxins. So just allowing all of that to release through your twist. And then we'll be holding each side for just under 3 minutes today. Allow your breath to deepen and the body to soften. Start to take your final breath in on this side. Final breath out. And gently releasing, unraveling and coming back through center. And then straight onto the other side before we rebound. So the hips this time ever so slightly to the left, arms out by your sides, knees will fall over to the right, option 1, or you can take that twisted roots variation. So the right leg will extend, left leg wraps around, and then gently allowing the knees to fall over to the right. So if you are feeling a little bit of a war between the shoulders and the knees here, try to let the shoulder win, and this just helps us to ensure that most of the twist is coming from the thoracic or upper part of the spine, which is where we want it to be occurring. Head and neck can be anywhere that feels comfortable, and just ensuring that it is relaxed. As we are approaching the final minute on this side. There's always an opportunity to deepen, to soften, or to stay the same. Just getting into this practice of tuning in and listening to your body. Taking your final breath in, final breath out. Slowly start to unravel, coming back through center, making sure your hips are back in the middle of the mat, and then option for your rebound here. So our legs up the wall pose is a beautiful way to release the lower back. You can even give your backs of the legs a little massage. If you want a deeper release for your lower back, you might like to hug the knees either in towards the chest and just hold here for a moment, or perhaps taking it up to happy baby. So anywhere you can feel at the spine is a chance to neutralize. Perhaps a gentle rock and sway from side to side to fully release, to let go. Remembering to breathe wherever you've gone to. Final breath in, your rebound. Final breath out. And slowly release the legs. We have just one final pose before our resting pose. You guys have done amazing, and this is one of my favorite ones. So reclined butterfly pose. Definitely recommend propping up for this one. So I like to make a little bit of a fort. So if you have foam blocks or something at home, you can prop yourself up like so, and then just lying your bolster or your cushion on top. You might not have dirt on yours like mine, but that's okay, it's part of the nature. And all we're going to do, like a butterfly, creating a diamond shape with the legs, soles of the feet together, knees will come out nice and wide. And then if you have your little fort set up like mine, just lying the spine down, arms facing up by your sides. And then if you only have a pillow, try to just have it underneath the shoulder blades. But either way, we're just looking for a little bit of elevation and expansion for the upper body. So for our final pose, this one will be holding for a total of 4 minutes. So this final expansion of our lotus flower. Feel the hips, the inner thighs open. That sense of expansion and broadening through the shoulders, the chest, the heart space. Focus on steadying, slowing down and deepening each breath. Allow the shoulders to relax. Softness through the head, the neck, the jaw. Relaxing behind the eyelids, the eyebrows, the tongue. And breathe. Start to take your 3 final breaths in your reclined butterfly pose, inviting a deep sense of expansion, awareness, receptivity, and openness. Let's take our final breath in this shape. Final clearing breath out. Slowly start to bring the knees towards a close. If you are propped up, like myself, coming onto the elbows, gently remove your cushions or blocks to the side of the mat. And then just before we come to our Savasana, we'll take our final rebound. So constructive rest pose. The knees will close in together, feet out nice and wide. And just allowing the arms to relax beside you. Perhaps just noticing what it now feels like to have your spine firmly grounded. And that internal rotation through the hips after a deep opening. Allowing your body the chance to soak up and absorb the benefits of your yin practice from today. Let's take one final breath in your rebound. Final breath out. And from here, we've made it, yogis, into your Savasana. So extending the legs nice and long, palms facing up. Relaxing your shoulders away from the ears. Each breath in, traveling all the way down to the base of the spine. Feel the lower belly rise. And each breath out, a full body surrender, allowing yourself permission to relax. Savasana. And without moving the body just yet, start to gently deepen your breath, breathing in, breathing out, inviting some awareness, movement back into your body. And gently reaching your arms up and overhead, pointing through the toes for a full body stretch. Take a deep breath in and exhale, letting it all go. We'll draw the knees in towards the chest. One final little hug and squeeze. And gently roll over to one side. In your own time, pressing your way back up to where we started in a comfortable seated position. Let's take our Lotus Mudra once again. So completing our practice full circle, the pinky tips and thumbs together, and resting your hands at the heart space. Let's take one final deep breath in together. And a clearing deep breath out. And bringing your hands to a namaste position. Expressing gratitude to yourselves and to each other for allowing yourselves this time to create new space, not only within the body, but also within the mind. And to that we bow. Namaste. Thank you so much everybody for joining. I hope you enjoyed today's practice. It was a little different from what we've done the other weeks, but we are again here in the gorgeous Wildflower Gardens in Senai. So come and check it out if you're local. Thank you again for joining, and I look forward to seeing you guys again next week. Thanks so much. Bye.